Hello, my name is Regina Deavens, and thank you for joining me for my session this afternoon titled Climate and Culture with Canva and me, Regina Deavens. And I'm going to take the opportunity this afternoon to talk about some ways that I've used Canva to influence the climate and culture in my classroom and throughout our learning community. So, just a little bit about myself before we get started. I have served as the MTSS Tier 1 team leader in our building. I've been a mentor for new school teachers. I am currently serving as the second grade team leader. I'm the social media manager for our school platforms, the co-sponsor for our student leader corps, and I have been the coordinator for our summer learning academy for 2 years. So I've been very fortunate in being able to occupy many leadership roles throughout our learning community, and I have 100% been able to leverage Canva to emphasize my impact in each one of those roles. And in comparison to other platforms that are familiar in our learning communities, it's not that any of the other options are bad. There are some commonalities between Canva and the other learning platforms, being the autosave feature, the real time collaborative environment, and the platform being extremely user friendly. Some things that Canva does offer that many of the other platforms are not. Canva is 100% an excellent time saver. Canva also elevates creativity. The drag and drop interface is a time saver and simplified options. There are over 250,000 templates already completely designed for various purposes. There are easy ways to access photos and illustrations throughout the Canva platform, and there are varied and plentiful options for transitions and animations within PowerPoint presentations, and there are unlimited amount of tools for consistent and professional branding and marketing. Some topics that we'll discuss today in this session are the text to image feature, how to use these images to transition them to social media graphics, how to use Canva to increase the equity and inclusion, using Canva to promote events, using Canva as a way to balance assessments, and a family engagement tool. So, this is one of my absolute favorite and most frequently used features in Canva, which is the text to image. In nearly every curriculum, reading assignment, picture books, any learning tool, there's likely always at least one population that is totally overlooked in its development. This text to image feature gives us a way to combat that and allow for every student to see themselves reflected in the content and feel like they have a sense of belonging in the learning community. In the text to image feature, users have the ability to type in a few keywords and the AI generated images all populate and you get to select your option. All of these images reflect students that were in my classroom or in our school building. I put in the features based on their hair color, eye color, the pattern of their hair, the deep complexion of the skin, the olive tone of the skin, to all come up with these different images where each student had equal representation to the narratives and the messages that we were displaying throughout our learning community. This is such a fun way to make our culture relevant for everyone. It also is a way to bring in students with unique abilities, students who may be in wheelchairs, students wearing eyeglasses, hearing aids, representation of different types of families that may not align with our more traditional views of what a family is, but maybe families with two moms, two dads, a single mom, a single dad, um, grandparents as guardian. It covers the whole spectrum of the needs to satisfy the culturally responsive environments that we want to create for our students. It is also so much fun to create the images and have the students pick out the one that they think looks the most like themselves. Just that reflection just drives up student interest, student engagement, and ultimately affecting student achievement because the students know that this is a place where they belong. After creating the text to images with just a resize option that is offered inside Canva, you can transition these images to immediately fit perfectly inside of a thread on all of the social media platforms. At the beginning of the 24 school year, the Brandywine School District was up for a referendum. And in the proposal, we were trying to create energy around convincing citizens living within the district to vote to increase their property taxes in order to help fund some of our educational initiatives. This branding was a way to have images of our population portrayed. I teach in an elementary school, so most of these images are of elementary students with voting images connected to them. There was ways for us to streamline our messaging around the referendum, where you go to vote, what was at stake if the referendum did not pass, and different mechanisms of getting consistent messaging and branding out there. This also was a protection for us as a school and a district because by the AI generated images, we still were able to capture the essence of an elementary school without ever compromising the privacy of parents who did not want their children photographed and their pictures circulated throughout our social media platforms. So it was an excellent way for us to have representation without any risk of violation. And again, it took about 3 steps. Once you create the image, you use the resize and switch option that is in the toolbar in Canva. And you get to choose Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and the feature in Canva automatically resizes and you're ready for upload. Again, some more images of how we created the voting elementary students checklist for people to make sure they were in good standing to qualify for voting, the date to go in and vote. It was a real movement that brought about a lot of energy and engagement from families that were inside the school and community partners who just follow us on social media to see what is happening for them. And we believe that part of our collective messaging and manpower is the reason we were so successful with a monumental landslide in the passing of this referendum. Even if you're not up for referendum, this is a great way to garner energy and excitement around the onset of a school year. Maybe this is the way you advertise your back to school events. If there's a school wide celebration, a large cultural celebration, so many ways this text to image feature then coincides with the resize and switch feature to use for social media graphics. Again, an excellent time saver and a brilliant way to showcase our communities. Canva is one of our favorite ways to use our platform for event promotion and family engagement. The templates that you'll see on these next couple of slides were already developed in Canva. I just did a search for elementary schools, back to school night, school themes, school supplies, anything along those lines will populate all of these options. There is still also a place for you to add your school branding to edit the wording and add some additional elements. So in the Welcome Home Hawks folder, we are the Harlan Hawks. Therefore, our hockey mascot is included in all of our messaging and flyers that go out for to the community. This first one was from Take a Peek Night, where we were welcoming the Hawks back to the nest. I used a picture of our school to use as the center of it and just added the elements of the pencils to keep it back to school and um, give it that elementary feel. Every year, we hold a grandparents' breakfast that we called our grand breakfast, which is usually the Monday after Grandparents' Day. It is so much fun. The grandparents come in for a continental breakfast. This is the flyer again that was already developed in Canva. We just changed out the words, added some dates, and we were able to push it right out. We do a math literacy night every year. This template was completely designed. The only thing we had to do was add the Harlan Hawk, the hockey mascot, on to showcase our brand. Here are more examples of our movie night, our reading literacy night, our arts and crafts night. Again, it took 5 minutes or less to create all of these visuals because the templates are already pre-designed in Canva. The only thing we had to do was do maybe 5 steps and drag and drop the branding, our hockey, adding a few elements if we so desired, and editing the words. This again is one of my favorite things to do because they are attractive and they are time savers for teachers. And our weekly announcements and updates. We do our best to go above and beyond to communicate with all stakeholders about events that are happening within our school. We want the students to be excited about it. We want parents to be excited about it. We want community partners to be excited about what we're doing. So we work very hard to create attractive, eye catching graphics that can capture our messaging and draw the crowd in. Our goal is always to tear down the wall between school and family and unite us as one village. This graphic is used, it runs every day in the hallways on the television that is displayed at our main entrance. We also use again the resize feature to push these events out on social media because you just never know who's watching. We want parents to be able to be reminded about what's happening. We want volunteers to pick the event that appeals to them, and hopefully they'll come in and support our school and our initiatives. Can be a lot of fun for community partners looking for a good time, and these already pre-designed graphics again save us a lot of time and give us brilliant ways to tear down that wall and unite us all as one. Other graphics, just wanted to show you some different options of how we use the same graphic. Just change out a background, add some different elements to correspond with the seasons that we're in, to kind of again showcase all of the exciting things happening in the school, and again to get people excited about us that are inside and draw people in that may be outside our learning community. Good things are happening, we just have to control the narrative and communicate those things and drawing people in. Canva is one of my absolute favorite platforms to use when bringing in a student voice. Around this time of year, we are all thinking about the back to school events and activities and ways to start to build cohesion and connectivity in our communities. This is one way that I have um, done an alternative to a meet and greet icebreaker type activity in the classroom, and that's having students to create their own book cover. It does not necessarily have to be a book about the students, although they can use this as an opportunity to tell their story. Maybe it's the story they have in their hearts that they just haven't been able to get out yet. So the story can certainly be fictional or nonfiction. leaving that choice up to the students so that it operates in a space where they are most comfortable, and they create a book cover. This was an example that I used for my class, and it is inspired by one of my most influential former students, whose name was Jeffrey. He has aspirations of going to the NFL and playing football, and I choose to carry his dream along with me and support and promote it every chance I get. So, the first step in creating this project was the text to image feature. The keywords that I used were African American male with a deep complexion, twist in his hair, in a purple and gold football uniform, number 7 on his jersey, playing in an NFL stadium. And these were the first 5 images that were generated. And I chose the picture in the center because I thought it captured his personality, his essence. It looked real. He looked like an actual human being in this, again, with protecting his identity. AI captured his essence, and this was my picture of choice for his book cover. And I use the background remover, which is the touch of one button to remove the NFL background so that it blended in a little better with the Time magazine that I wanted to create. Because in my head, he's going to be a featured athlete here someday. So I wanted to go ahead and propel his vision forward and show him what this would look like. So it's an excellent way to increase equity for students who may not be artistic and are asked to present things to their class. This equals the playing field because they can generate the image without feeling insecure or uncomfortable about their artistic skills. For students who may have underdeveloped writing skills right now, it's another way for them to use pictures to make them feel comfortable when presenting their information. You have the option that students can display this for the class and talk about it. You can also create a public view link that you can share with parents, other people outside of the building, or even put it in some type of class dojo, which is a messaging system that we use often, so that parents can view it, other stakeholders can view it, community partners, a way to celebrate the success of students as they also learn to leverage technology because it is certainly a world that they will continue to live in. So an excellent twist on the getting to know you activity. Students can celebrate themselves in the way they feel more comfortable with no barriers based on their perceived or their real performance difference level, their different skill levels. Sorry. Another option for a beginning of year activity is to create the student voice through a mind map. Get this template, I searched for mind maps or brainstorming activities. And this gives the student another way to express themselves in pictures, removing all of the barriers that we talked about before. Um, this removes barriers based on performance levels, artistic ability, writing ability. They can discover the images that they want to portray in the text to image feature and then arrange them on their mind map or their brainstorming map. This is one example that I created for my students. There's an outline of the state of Mississippi coupled with a magnolia because Mississippi is my birth state. Aberdeen, Mississippi is my home, and I have a special place in my heart for grits. Those are girls raised in the South or guys raised in the South. We transitioned to Tuskegee University. That is where I earned my Bachelor of Arts degree in elementary education. I'm an avid supporter of HBCUs. I've had the opportunity to work at 2 of them. I've been employed at Delaware State University, go Hornets. I've been employed at Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, go Rattlers. And I am currently pursuing my master's degree in equitable curriculum and instructional leadership at Delaware State University. I've also had the opportunity to teach in 3 different states. I've taught in the state of Florida, I've taught in the state of Alabama, and now I get to use my talents to teach here in the great state of Delaware. So, again, another excellent alternative to the getting to know you activities and to learn more about the student experiences and their values. Canva gives an easy way to engage in video options or vlogs, as they're often called. A couple of ways I have used this in my classroom is for differentiated instructions and for balanced assessments. For differentiated instruction, I have often used videos as formative assessments. And this real time data has been instrumental in me being able to make real time adjustments to my lesson plans or the daily flow of an activity and even the small groups that may be necessary. I've given the option for students to respond in video to discussion questions based on passages we've read in reading. In math, I've allowed students to explain their strategies or their reasoning to me for solving math problems a certain way. I've even been able to use it as kind of an exit ticket. Tell me one thing you learned from the science activity and why this was your favorite part. Students seem to get so much deeper and feel so much more connected when they can put words to it. I've used this as a way to communicate with parents when their schedules do not allow for them to come in person during the designated parent teacher conference time. It also has been a way for me to communicate homework instructions. So if there's ever any miscommunication in translation from student to teacher to parent, this is an excellent way to clear up all of that. This is also an option that I've used if I had to communicate a difficult incident with a parent and we did not have the option to talk face to face, or by phone. Being able to see my face and hear my voice alleviated um, my actions being misinterpreted, my words, because parents get the opportunity to hear my voice and see my body language. So it has been a great way to manage conflict as well. Community engagement is also one of our cornerstones at Harlan Elementary School in the Brandywine School District here in Wilmington, Delaware. And this is another time saver that Canva allows in the area of community engagement. We take lots of pictures during our days and weeks of events, celebrations, and Canva already has these templates, again, pre-designed, and it's just a simple step of dragging a picture into the frame and it automatically resizes, so you don't have to worry about rearranging, finding cute templates, and you still have all of the same options to edit the background color, add words or elements throughout your designs, and a simple, again, resize the image and it's ready to also be populated on the social media platforms. So yet another time saver and a way Canva can increase our climate and culture while helping teachers to reclaim their time. This was a representation of Going Green, which was our St. Patrick's Day. Again, I just took the pictures of the students, dragged them over to this template, added the elements of the pot of gold, the leprechaun hat, and the clovers to kind of add a little flair to my images because I'm one of those teachers that always does a little bit extra. Student celebration is always key, and our elementary basketball league this year was so much fun to watch third through fifth graders compete against each other. Was a great way to garner community engagement. The girls and boys had a lot of fun on the court together, and one of the biggest highlights was the cheerleader squads this year. And the Harlan Hawk cheerleader squad was such a fun time for the little girls. They've watched their parents, older siblings, aunts, and uncles all engage in this activity, and they finally got their moment. So I took this time to celebrate those girls who auditioned for the team and made it, resized it to fit the locker size, and displayed it with their pom pom all year. Each homeroom teacher in our building also selects a student of the month. I take the hallway picture that is showcased outside every teacher's classroom, resize that, and add it to the students' lockers, as well as a positive behavior reinforcement and a way for students to always be mindful that we are watching and we celebrate everything that they accomplish and that they are excited about. At the end of the elementary basketball league season, the cheerleaders all had a competition, and the Harlan Hawks won the best overall performance. So, the three cheerleaders that were in my classroom, we all got together for this picture that was actually taken right outside my classroom door. But I wanted something a little more celebratory to put outside in the hallway on the girls' lockers. So I did a search right in Canva for an NBA court background, and I replaced my classroom door background with this one so that they can feel like they were celebrated in the big leagues also. It was a lot of fun. The parents, the other teachers, the building administration, and the girls especially loved this addition to their celebration. And some other ways that Canva is also very helpful. Again, with over 250,000 templates as of right now, there are a plethora of ways to use Canva that we just did not have time to get through in today's session. But there are templates for name tags, labels, certificates, reflection sheets that are extremely helpful when you have calm down corners in your classrooms or throughout your building. When you're working with students on self regulation and emotion management, many of those templates and ideas are already pre designed. You can print them out and just immediately put them to use, and for displaying class schedules throughout the door in an attractive and fun way. So, Canva is one of my BFFs in the classroom and affecting climate and culture. And I do hope I've been able to share some ways with you that you can take it to your environment and make it equally as exciting of a learning tool. I think I thank you so much for spending time here with me today. I would love to connect with you and stay connected on what you like most about today's session, what you would like to see more of, and I certainly look for opportunities for us to continue to exchange ideas and learn from each other. I am on LinkedIn on based on you can search my name, Regina Deavens. That is how I'm identified on LinkedIn. This is my email address. Feel free to reach out anytime at regina.devens at bsd.k12.de.us, and also on Twitter or X. And I am labeled, my username there is the Twisted Teacher. Thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to connecting with you in the future. Stay brilliant.